This is an update on the guinea fowl that I rescued. They're all doing well. In this enclosure here I've got 3 of them. The one that was feather plucked, her feathers are coming back nicely. If you're not familiar with the story, a couple of weeks ago Robbie and I were near a chair garden and we heard a strange bird sound out front. We thought for a moment, what's that? And instantly we realised they were guineas, or guinea fowl. If you've ever heard guinea fowl call, you'll recognise it for the rest of your life. The females have this double sound. It's unlike anything else. So I went straight out front to see where it was coming from. I followed the sound to an open field nearby, and there were 4 guinea fowl running around. Off in the distance in another neighbourhood I could hear another female calling, but I wasn't able to get to that area. So the first thing I did, I looked them over and I saw that their wing feathers were trimmed. They were trimmed really tight. I wouldn't trim them this tight, but they couldn't fly. So I decided I was just going to catch them. They couldn't fly, but boy, can they run fast.
Put it in?
Could put it in with the chickens.
The chickens won't hurt it?
No.
You only caught 1?
Well, I've only got 2 hands. When I caught them all up, at first glance it looked like there was 1 male and 3 females. As soon as I heard their call, I knew I had the sexes correct. The younger one that was feather plucked, I'm going to say it's younger because it's much smaller, looks like a female, and 2 of them have smaller heads and smaller wattles, and the one that I thought was a male has a larger head and it has larger wattles. The wattles are the parts that hang below the head, if you're not familiar with fowl. After catching all 4, I gave them some food and water in the dog carrier. I wasn't sure exactly where I was going to set them up. I kept guineas in Australia during the early 80s, and we kept guineas here in the early 90s. The first thing we tried to do is find out if anyone had some missing. That went nowhere, so my assumption is someone came up here and illegally dumped them. The first day I had them penned up in this little enclosure here. It's coyote proof and raccoon proof. I pen them up at night to protect them and let them out during the day, and after a couple of days they automatically go into their coop. They are pretty tame. I've been working with them and I've got them tamed down where they will feed from my hand. Their tameness suggests to me that they were hatched in an incubator and not by adult guineas. So I can get really close to them and hand feed them, and they're not fearful of the dogs. They're used to my dogs. My dogs can come in here and they don't panic. I'm feeding them laying pellets, which are 16% protein, and that's good for adult guineas. They also like different weeds and grasses. I laid a piece of plywood against the house, and that gave them a place where they can lay their eggs. Guineas form pairs. They live in large flocks, but they form pairs. The male was driving one of the females away from the food and away from the other 2, and she was persistently calling all day long, and that was pretty loud. I caught her up and separated her. I removed the one that was being harassed and placed her in with 2 chickens. I removed the rooster, knowing that the hens would be fine with her once they got used to her. That solved the problem. The hen that I put in with the chickens has already started to lay. Their eggs are conical, which is a design so that when they roll, they'll roll in a tight circle and they won't roll away. They're different than chicken eggs. So that's pretty much it. As time goes on, we'll do more. We can talk more about them, but that's just a quick update for now. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. With that, thanks for watching, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Goodbye. There's coyote roll bars along the top, and we know they're safe in here. Tried feeding them lay pellets and they didn't touch the lay pellets, I gave them some food and water last night to make sure that they had something to eat in the morning. And that one there, the top of the head has been hurt and I'm not sure what that issue was. But the others look okay, but there's just 2 of them that have got minor injuries. But yeah, this one here definitely, I believe, may be a male. I shouldn't say definitely. If you look at the wattles, I'm talking about the bits down here, if you compare this one to the others, these are bigger. The head shape's a little different too. He's got more of a bolder head, and the others have smaller heads.